Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another What If video. And in today's What If video, we will be doing part 1 of What If Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic cross over with Archie Sonic. And before we go ahead and get into this video, make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you guys think would happen if Classic Sonic and Modern Sonic at some point in time did end up crossovering with the Archie version of Sonic. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this What If. We opened up on the final battle of Sonic Generations. We see both modern Supersonic and classic Supersonic in the middle taking on the Time Meter, which is being controlled by both modern Dr. Eggman and classic Dr. Eggman. At this point in time, the Time Meter is on its last legs, and both modern Dr. Eggman and classic Dr. Eggman are beginning to get desperate, as the Time Meter is showered with homing attacks and spin dashes from both modern Supersonic and classic Supersonic respectively, and thus modern Sonic would have hitting the Time Meter's main weak point. The Time Meter was screaming in pain, as both modern Dr. Eggman and classic Dr. Eggman are now extremely desperate. However, modern Eggman would have getting an idea. He would have thinking, if he could use Chaos Control, he could potentially slow down time and get a critical blow on them. Thus, he smiles evilly as he prepares Chaos Control. However, unbeknownst to him, modern Supersonic prepares a Chaos Control of his own, intending to do the same thing. And thus, the two of them end up announcing Chaos Control. And thus, the two Chaos Controls would collide with each other. However, this would have an unintentional side effect, as a portal opens, catching them all off guard, as both modern Supersonic and classic Supersonic, and both modern Dr. Eggman and classic Dr. Eggman in the Time Meter are thrown into the portal and sucked in. And if you're wondering why this is happening, keep this in mind. In Sonic 06, when you end up using two Chaos Controls with two Chaos Emeralds, end up opening a portal. Well, considering the fact that the Time Meter is a Supersonic level threat, and we have two Supersonics here, and essentially using a Super Chaos Control mixed with another Super Chaos Control, this would have a similar concept. However, rather than sending them back to a different point in time, instead it's going to send them to another dimension. And this, modern Supersonic and classic Supersonic end up getting sucked into one part of the portal, getting separated from both modern Dr. Eggman and classic Dr. Eggman. And alongside this as well, while they're falling through the portal, their super forms are deactivated, catching the two of them off guard, as they're then all of a sudden thrown into somewhere unknown as they fall on the ground face first. Both modern Sonic and classic Sonic quickly get back up. Modern Sonic would turn to his classic counterpart with him saying, "You alright?" "Yeah, I'm fine." Modern Sonic and classic Sonic would begin to look around, with the two of them being suspicious and beginning to investigate the area. Modern Sonic would have expecting this as well, with him thinking, "What is this place? The Time Meter clearly must have sent it to a different point in time, but I don't recognize this place. Something's off." Modern Sonic and classic Sonic begin to look around as well. However, they end up noticing a couple of Eggman robots nearby. Modern Sonic and classic Sonic quickly go ahead and take them down. Classic Sonic would end up turning to his older self with him saying, "Do you think the Time Meter threw us into a random point in time?" "Yeah, I think so, but I'm not entirely sure. We need to do a bit more investigating." Classic Sonic would nod his head, and as the two Sonics begin to speed around the area, trying to figure out what's happening. However, unbeknownst to them, Archie Dr. Eggman was listening on the entire conversation, as he had security cameras on the robots he sent out. At this point in time, he's in the middle of engaging with the cleanup of Acorn in an all-out war. Archie Dr. Eggman would look on amazed at the fact there's two Sonics there. Now, initially, Archie Dr. Eggman would think that modern Sonic is Archie Sonic, considering the fact the two of them do look pretty much the same. However, once he spots classic Sonic, that gains Archie Eggman's attention. However, the fact that modern Sonic didn't know where he was, Archie Eggman knows something's going on with him, saying, "This shall be quite interesting. Snively, send some more robots after these two Sonics." Snively was nodding his head, as more robots were sent out to deal with both modern Sonic and classic Sonic. However, unbeknownst to Archie Eggman, modern and classic Sonic's arrival also didn't go noticed by him, as Archie Tails, alongside the Freedom Fighters, ended up also noticing this as well. And thus, Archie Tails, alongside Archie Sally, and a couple other Freedom Fighters ended up heading out to figure out what this was. Now, Archie Sonic isn't with them at the moment due to the fact he's on a mission of his very own. Thus, he won't be able to join them just yet. However, Archie Tails does end up contacting him and informs him. This Archie Sonic does promise that once he's done with this mission, he'll head over there to check it out. with them. And that's because it's Archie, Tails, and Archie, Sally, and alongside all the other freedom fighters they bring, end up looking around the area, and they end up finding where both modern Sonic and classic Sonic landed. And thus, they end up continuing heading on the same path where both modern Sonic and classic Sonic are. And they would end up seeing both modern Sonic and classic Sonic in the middle of taking down Badniks. Now, initially, they would end up just seeing modern Sonic, and then thinking it's Archie Sonic. Sally went approaching Sonic, where they're saying, "Sonic, why are you not on your mission?" Modern Sonic would turn Sally confused, with him saying, Do I know you? Archie, Sally, annoyed, would roll her eyes, with her saying, "Look, Sonic, stop playing around." However, classic Sonic would reveal himself as well, with him saying, "Yeah, do we know you?" Archie, Sally's eyes would widen in shock, as for the rest of the freedom fighters, and all of them would immediately get aggressive in a defensive stance, with Sally saying, "Who are you, and why do you look like Sonic?" Modern Sonic and classic Sonic would have putting their hands up, essentially showing they don't want to fight. Modern Sonic explaining, "Listen, all we know is that we were in the middle of battling Eggman, and then all of a sudden we were teleported here." However, the Archie freedom fighters are buying it, and that's because of this. Archie Tails goes in to attack Modern Sonic. However, Modern Sonic easily dodged the attack, and thus a fight begins with the Archie freedom fighters charging towards both classic Sonic and Modern Sonic with all their throwing attacks at them, forcing both Modern Sonic and classic Sonic to dodge. Classic Sonic would have using his super PL to easily dodge out of the way of the attacks, but Modern Sonic would use the boost, easily dodging out of the way of the attacks as well, followed by a couple homing attacks on Archie, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Fiona. Alongside this as well, Classic Sonic would manage to spin dash Archie, Sally, Bunny, Antoine, and Rotor. Classic Sonic, however, then used the opportunity to go in for another spin dash, only to be thrown back by Archie and Antoine. However, Classic Sonic used the opportunity to do a drop dash, throwing them off their feet. And as Archie Bunny goes to attack Classic Sonic uses his instant shield technique to protect them, and throwing Archie Bunny back. Alongside this as well, Classic Sonic would kick Archie Rotor in the face, throwing it back and would swiping Archie Sally off her feet. However, Archie Sally alongside Archie Antoine would get back up and would charge towards Classic Sonic, who would manage to dodge their attacks, however. Classic Sonic would then use Super Pilot again to easily dodge more attacks, and would then go in for a spin dash, followed up by another drop dash and using his instant shield technique once again. This process repeats for a few times before he is eventually locked in hand-to-hand combat with them. Classic Sonic, although struggling, is managing to hold his ground and would eventually manage to swipe them all off their feet and would spin dash into him, throwing them flying back. Meanwhile, Modern Sonic would be taking on Archie, Fiona, Amy, Tails, and Knuckles. Modern Sonic easily dodged their attacks using the boost, followed by a couple homing attacks and spin dash at their very own. Archie Knuckles would attempt to punch Modern Sonic in the face, however, Modern Sonic managed to dodge the attack and would throwing a piece of rubble at Archie Knuckles. However, Archie Knuckles would easily break it. However, Modern Sonic would be using this distraction to jump on another piece of rubble midair and would be doing a midair spin dash, throwing Archie Knuckles and Archie Amy back. However, Archie Tails and Archie Fiona would be continue to attack him. Modern Sonic, however, would easily manage to dodge and would easily take down Archie Fiona. However, Archie Fiona alongside Archie Knuckles and Amy would manage to get back up and would continue to fight Modern Sonic alongside Archie Tails. However, Modern Sonic would quickly realize he and Class Sonic to come up with a plan. And thus the two of them decided they need to trap the Archie Freedom Fighters and explain to them what's happening, at least what they know. And thus Modern Sonic and Class Sonic come up with a plan, but the two of them intending to outspeed them. However, after a while, the Archie Freedom Fighters are slowly managing to catch up. However, this is just what Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic plan. Thus, using this opportunity, Modern Sonic went in distracting them, allowing Classic Sonic to surround them with pieces of rubber, trapping them, as Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic land right in front of them, with the two of them holding their hands up, as Modern Sonic says to them, "Listen, we don't want to fight you. Whatever you're thinking, it's not true. We don't work for Eggman. We're the good guys here. We're not the enemy. Please, we don't want to fight you anymore." Although the Archie Freedom Fighters are hesitant to believe this, they can tell Modern Sonic's being honest and sincere. Plus, both Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic are holding their hands up, showing no intention of continuing the fight, and thus nod their heads and put their weapons down. Alongside this as well, Archie Sonic arrives on the scene. Modern Sonic's eyes widen, as do Classic Sonic's and Archie Sonic's eyes. Archie Sonic, however, he puts two and two together with them saying, "So let me guess, you two are from a different dimension." Modern Sonic's eyes widen, as do Classic Sonic's, with Modern Sonic saying, "Wait, we're in another dimension?" Archie Sonic ends up nodding his head, and Archie Sonic ends up urging the two Sonics to follow both him and the Archie Freedom Fighters. And this Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic nod their head, and after a while they arrive back in Thule, with all the citizens there being shocked to see three Sonics. Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic then begin to go into detail, essentially explaining how they got there, with them explaining how they're the same Sonic but for different points of time, and how they teamed up because both the future version and the past version of Eggman teamed up as well with something called the Time Meter, and how during the final battle when they were in their super forms, Modern Sonic ended up combining a Chaos Control with Eggman, Modern Eggman, in their super forms, and this because of this ended up causing a portal open, causing the two of them to arrive here. That's all they know. They don't know what happened to their version of Eggman, and they don't know what happened to their version of the Chaos Emeralds, as they got teleported along with them. Archie Sonic and the Archie Freedom Fire symbol listen closely and intentionally. Archie tells them, speaking up with them, saying, "If anything would happen, you two end up creating a portal to another dimension." "Yeah? But how?" "Well, considering the fact that if you use Chaos Control with two Chaos Emeralds, a portal opens." Modern Sonic nods his head as he knows this. "However, because you and your super form and your version of Eggman was essentially had something that was as powerful as super form that was capable of using Chaos Control, the portal you opened was essentially far greater, and instead of it being a portal through time, it was a portal between dimensions, so you got sent here." Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic nod their head, but they are shocked. Archie Sonic with them stepping up with them saying, "Tails, do you think you can fix the portal for these two so they can get back home?" Archie Tails ends up thinking for a bit before saying, "Yeah, I can. But the problem is, it's going to take a while. Months, if not a year at most. So you guys are going to be forced to stay here." Modern Sonic and Classic nod their head as well. However, Modern Sonic will also bring us something as well with them saying, "Yeah, but there's also two other problems with that." Archie Sonic would have asked the two of them, "What is it?" "Well, one, we don't know where our versions of the Chaos Emeralds are, and two, our versions of Eggman were also thrown into the portal," meaning, and the Archie Freedom Fighters gasp in horror as they quickly realize what both Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic are alluding to. Meanwhile, we cut to Archie Eggman and Archie Sniffly as they're listening in on the entire conversation, with it being revealed that Archie Eggman sent a couple of robots to listen in on the conversation, and he heard everything as he quickly realizes that Modern and Classic Sonic are indeed from another dimension, as he saw Archie Sonic also meet with them. Archie Eggman went up thinking to himself, "If those two are here, then perhaps their versions of Eggman, me, are here as well." Archie Eggman would contemplate for a bit, thinking of where they could potentially be. Archie Eggman would then turn to Archie Snively with him and say, "Snively, figure out if their versions of Eggman arrived as well. After all, with their help, we could be unstoppable, and all we would have to do is take out a few rodents." Snively nods his head and begins searching. Meanwhile, Archie Eggman continues to build work on Metal Sonic, a new Metal Sonic after Mecha Sonic. However, as he's building, he all of a sudden hears a sound, asks Snively, and they turn around. Archie Eggman ends up asking, "Who's there?" as robots surround him, ready to attack, until all of a sudden the intruders reveal themselves as both Modern Eggman and Classic Eggman. Archie Eggman's eyes widen as he quickly realizes who they are as Modern Eggman introduces himself. "It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Dr. Eggman from a different dimension." Archie Eggman would grin naively, he was saying, "The pleasure is all mine, Dr. Eggman, as well as from another dimension." The three went up shaking hands. Archie Eggman went up asking the two Eggmen, "How did you get here in the first place?" is my only question. Modern Eggman and Classic Eggman would begin to go into detail about their plans and generations, and how, unfortunately, their versions of Sonic stopped. However, although they managed to beat the Time Meter, they all got sucked into a portal when they both went in for Chaos Control, and thus now they're here. And Modern Eggman will bring up the possibility of teaming up to take down their versions of Sonic. Archie Eggman would up smiling with them saying, "Agreed." However, Modern Eggman would also end up telling him, "We also have something. Think of it as a gift for you." Archie Eggman went up looking, saying, "What is it?" Modern Eggman and Classic Eggman would then unveil the 7 Chaos Emeralds from their dimension. As it turns out, when Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic Super Forms reactivated, the Emeralds ending up arriving where both Modern Eggman and Classic Eggman were. Archie Eggman smiles with them saying, "So, these are your versions of the Chaos Emeralds." "Why, yes they are, and if we use these, we could potentially stop your version of Sonic from using his version of the Emeralds." Archie Eggman ends up smiling naively with him saying, "This partnership will work out greatly." As the three Eggmen begin to laugh, and that's where we're going to end this What If for right now. So, what did you guys think? Did you expect modern Sonic and classic Sonic to arrive here by doing Chaos Control with the Time Eater? Or did you expect modern Eggman and classic Eggman to meet up with Archie Eggman and present the 7 Chaos Emeralds? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and also make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below this part, and get out for part 2, as part 2 is going to be much longer, as this part is merely the setup part for the next upcoming parts, as the next upcoming parts will be adapting this art that I'm showing on the screen, and that's essentially the art that we'll be adapting into this what if, alongside a couple other ones. So make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.